Welcome back to Old School Sports and our Out of the Park Baseball 24 playthrough of the Buffalo Wings. It is April Fool's Day, Monday, April 1st, 2030, and it is also opening day for the 2030 season. Will be our fifth season in the major leagues with the Buffalo Wings. You can see we've gotten our aggregate record above 500 at this point. We've made the playoffs each of the last two seasons, and looking at the preseason predictions based on the final lineups, the 26-man rosters that teams took north with them, projected to be a playoff team again this year. 89 wins, which would put us 4 games behind the Mets. Last year they beat us by 2 games when we won 90 games. So from that perspective, we're actually potentially heading in the wrong direction. Our center fielder Vance Honeycutt expected to have a pretty good season in this playthrough, be a 30-30 guy, 30 homers and 35 steals. Doesn't look like we are expected to have any big-time pitchers this upcoming season, but still should definitely be a playoff team, and that is absolutely our goal. And hopefully if we get into the playoffs, we can do some damage once we're there. And before we continue our annual tradition of playing out our opening day game, and I know this year at least one frequent viewer will be rooting for the Montreal Expos against us as we begin the season in Canada. I'm going to do something else that frequent commenters have asked about, and that's the waiver wire. And as I've said in the comment section in response to comments about consistently looking at the waiver wire, I do check the waiver wire during the season. I don't typically spend time on it in the videos. I've historically found that I find players that I like better in the Rule 5 draft. Definitely find guys in the Rule 5 almost every season that I really like and end up keeping on the team. I don't have as much luck with the waiver wire, but you all have inspired me to at least walk through some of these interesting prospects here. Zane Adams, 25-year-old left-hander, 2.5-star pitcher. Looks like he's kind of replacement level-ish. The nice thing about him is that he could potentially start. Also making the major league minimum. Certainly somebody to think about. Hunter Dietz, another left-hander. And you can see, or you maybe can't see if you're not looking where I am looking right now, but since we have a new scout from the end of last season, we're still unfortunately at low scouting accuracy on a lot of these people, which doesn't help my willingness to bring them on board. But another guy who looks like he could potentially start or relieve, Leonel Ovales, making $5 million, not going to work. Ellis Cuevas, first baseman, looks like he's got a little pop in his bat and can draw some walks. We're pretty happy with the hitters that we have right now. We've got a lot of one-dimensional first base / left field / DH types. With these ratings, Cuevas is actually, sadly for us, a little better defensively than some of the guys that we have playing first. But he's a little small for a first baseman, and that low contact doesn't have me all that intrigued. Miguel Segura is a right-handed reliever. He's probably the most interesting to me. He is a guy who could start. We've got high scouting accuracy on him. Looks like he could be a useful arm, making the major league minimum. I like our pitching staff right now, but I am going to, after walking through these guys, take a look at the staff and see if there may be someone for us to bring on board. Another reliever, Marco Jimenez, pretty good pitcher. The issue is he's making $2.2 million. We don't have the ability to bring him on board unless we were to make a bunch of moves. Brett Crossland, another reliever, don't want to deal with that putrid control. Camilo Doval, a guy that we moved on from this past season. He was looking for a decent-sized contract. Did a really good job for us last year. $3.1 million though. We can't afford him, even though he was effective for us. Alfredo Osuna, one of the less attractive profiles of some of these pitchers that we've looked at. I don't think he is the answer. And then Gregorio Zap. Not all that exciting to me with the below average stuff, the below average control, and the fragility. Obviously, I can troll the entire waiver wire as well. Those are viewed as some of the top people who are on it. So I'll spend some time doing that and then kind of reviewing our team. As I said, I think the most interesting prospects to me are a couple of these relievers. I like my pitching staff right now, so I'm not sure if there's going to be a spot for them, but wanted to just kind of walk through the process and let you all know that I do look at the waiver wire from time to time, but perhaps because it's during the season, I think it might be fair to say that I may get attached to my fictional players a little much sometimes, and maybe I'm a little less willing to dump a guy during the season to pick up somebody off the waiver wire than I am to just bring a bunch of guys in the Rule 5 draft when I don't have my 26-man roster perfectly set. So it may be more a mental hang-up on my side rather than the Rule 5 players being better in general than the waiver wire players that influences my behavior. But I do look at the waiver wire from time to time. In looking at our pitching staff, I'd say the three guys that we would consider potentially moving on from to pick up a player. Ji-Hoo Kim, if we just look at his ratings, is a guy that potentially we could send down to AAA because he does have 3 option years left. This is a guy who was our 5th starter last year, went 12-7 for us with a 3.81 Sierra. He's 34 years old, so he's not a long-term solution for us, and we're paying him decent money, but could send him down. Harold Melenge is a left-handed pitcher who was okay for us last year after we picked him up a couple years ago in the Rule 5. 2-2 with a 4.56 ERA, negative WAR on the season, making $1.35 million. And he's a lefty, but he's actually more effective with slightly better movement against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. So he would be a guy to consider potentially moving on from. And then last would be, just based on the ratings, the lefty Kyle Backus. But Backus was pretty good for us last year. 2-1, 51 strikeouts in 40 1/3 innings, 3.35 ERA, 2.77 Sierra. He's making the major league minimum, and he is a lefty who is very hard on lefties. So Backus, even though, you look at the rating 60, 60, 50, just purely looking at the ratings and the stars, you might say get rid of Backus and keep Melenge. But I think if I move on from a left-hander for one of these guys, it would be Melenge. I don't think there's going to be much demand for him in the trade market, but that would be an option to try to trade him away and pick up one of the guys on the waiver wire to open up a little more money. Could pick up a former player on ours, Samad Taylor from the Yankees. Played in AAA for us last year, and he's on an option contract, so we could actually stash him in the minors, and then he could opt out free agency wise, but that would allow us to potentially get the money of Melenge off the books if we decide there's a guy on the waiver wire that we want to try to put in a claim for. And I think I am going to put in a claim. Miguel Segura is intriguing to me because he can start and he can relieve. And we look at his pitching staffs: 115 ERA plus, 82 FIP minus, 336 SIERA over his major league career with more than a strikeout per inning. Does walk a decent amount of batters with 45 and 113 and a third innings pitched. But I think he could be interesting, and he's also a guy who is making the major league minimum, so he would potentially open up a little bit of money for us if we were to bring him on board and potentially trade away Melenge. So we are at the very least going to put in a claim on Miguel Segura. And in the meantime, we are going to see if maybe we can make that trade to get Melenge off the books. Approach the Yankees about Samad Taylor, and we'll go ahead and submit that offer to the Yankees. So we may actually be making a waiver move here. So you can't say that I've never done a waiver move and I never look at the waiver wire. And not that people actually said that, but people have wondered about it. So good to kind of walk through my thought process. And I don't know if we're making the team that much better if we move on from Melenge for Jimenez. Actually, it's not Jimenez. We've already got the claim in on him, so he's not listed there anymore. But we are potentially saving some money, and given the financial situation we're in right now with less than $1 million, it's not going to be an immaterial move for us to potentially go from what Melenge was making to a minimum player on our major league roster if we are able to execute the waiver claim as well as trade away Melenge. And with a little talk about preseason predictions and a little talk about the waiver wire complete, it's time for us to play opening day in Montreal against the Expos. And you can see we look pretty favored at just about every position. Looks like the only one where we don't have a favorable matchup is Tanner Shillette versus William Bergola in the 7th spot in the lineup. But we're going to have Ohtani on the mound here on opening day, and a interesting matchup against the left-hander Shane McClanahan. A little bit of a different lineup for us. Marcelo Meyer slides over to third base, and against lefties, Toshimitsu Kato, the excellent young defender who we question how much he's actually going to hit. But he actually is going to be playing shortstop for us against lefties as the season gets going. Get his right-handed bat into the lineup. We've got Shillette at first base rather than Ota because of the lefty on the mound. Nick York in left field. Luca Reyes in right. So that sends Jace Barofin to the bench, at least for the time being. One thing that we will always have, though, is Deshaun Seifu leading off at second base, and Vance Honeycutt and Adley Rutschman in the middle of the lineup. And Samuel Basallo is our DH every day, although he could be catching at some point this year, but being a left-handed hitter, he is down further in the lineup against left-handed pitching. He'll be right in the middle of the order against right-handed pitching. 2 years in the majors, a Rookie of the Year award, an All-Star appearance, and 2 Silver Slugger awards for the young DH slash first baseman slash catcher. So the game will be getting underway. Our Buffalo Wings on the road starting this 2030 season against the Montreal Expos. And we are going to have our guy Deshaun Seifu swinging away to get this game started. Flies out to right field. Marcelo Meyer playing third base today, as I mentioned. Flies out to left. And Vance Honeycutt, the number 3 hitter, strikes him out. So 3 up, 3 down in the first inning for our Buffalo Wings. Ohtani on the mound and Wander Franco leading off for the Montreal Expos. Gives it a ride to center field, but 1 away. Curtis Mead up next. It's like a grounder down to third. Got him there. Oh, no, we didn't get an infield hit. So Marcelo Meyer at third. I guess it was a dribbler, but I don't think there was anything really wrong with what he did. Looked like just an infield hit. So we are going to go to double play depth, and Mead doesn't have a ton of speed. He is a very proficient base stealer, though. We're going to go ahead and pitch to Jorge Aragui. Looks like a double play ball there, and we got out of the inning. So Adley Rutschman, Clutchman up here in the top of the second. Browns out to third, 1 away. Nick York, all he does is hit. Rounds it to third. Oh, looks like an error. York safe at first. The throw pulled him off. So a reach on an error. And Luca Reyes making his full-time playing debut for us, a guy who came up at the end of last season, and we decided to give him a shot to be an everyday corner outfielder for us this year. We will let him swing away against McClanahan. He strikes out. So 2 outs now, and Tanner Shillette, the first base / DH / catcher, who we made a trade for this off season. It's a guy we could have traded for a few years ago, and he's going to be a backup catcher for us this year. We don't love his defensive ability at catcher, but we do potentially like his bat. Let's see what he can do for us. And he gives it a ride. It goes the opposite way to right field, so a excellent start to the Buffalo Wings career of Tanner Shillette with a 2-run home run in his first at-bat as a member of the Buffalo Wings. Nice start to his career there. Made them pay for the error. Basallo, another guy who can take it out of the yard, up next. Little dribbler to the pitcher and out of the inning. But 2 runs on 1 hit for Buffalo as we take a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the second here in Montreal. And cleanup hitter Elijah Green on at the plate. Ohtani will go right after him. Struck him out. So Ohtani with his first strikeout of the season. Josh Lowe up next with 1 away. And he looks like hit to right field, and a stand-up double for Josh Lowe. So a runner on second, Junior Severino. We're going to go right after him. Flies out to center. Didn't look like it was that deep, but the runner was able to tag up and go to third. So a runner on third, William Bergolia up. See if Ohtani can get out of this inning. Looks like he grounds it too short, and we did get out of the inning. So 2-0 Wings is our score as we go to the top of the third. Toshimitsu Kato, who just made the play at short to finish off last inning, leading off here. And Kato flies out to center field. Back to the top of the order with Mr. Seifu. Strikes out looking. Third strikeout of the day for McClanahan. Marcelo Meyer up with a couple of outs. And he knocks one into center field. Single for Meyer, so that will give Honeycutt an opportunity to potentially deliver a big 2-out hit for us. And it looks like he might just do that. And Meyer scores. Stand-up double for Honeycutt. Meyer scores. Take a 3-1 or 3-0 lead here. So a clutch hit by Vance Honeycutt. See if Rutschman can keep things going here. Strikes out. So 4 strikeouts for McClanahan through 3 innings, but 3 runs and 3 hits also for Buffalo. Ohtani going up against Carson Williams, number 8 hitter. Ohtani strikes him out. Number 9 hitter Will Banfield, the catcher, up now. And Ohtani feasting on these guys at the back end of the lineup. 2 straight strikeouts, 2 outs, and Wander Franco up for the second time today. And Franco gives it a ride to right field. Dropped in front of Reyes for a single. So a runner on first. Curtis Mead is up. We'll throw over to first, try to keep Franco close. And we'll go ahead and pitch to Mead now. And another hit, so 2 straight singles. 2 straight 2-out singles. And the Montreal Expos now have their number 3 hitter up. And just need 1 out. And keep the infield at normal depth. Little dribbler to Ohtani, throws it over to first, and the Wings are out of the jam, and we take a 3-0 lead to the 4th inning. So Nick York leading off here in the top of the 4th. Strikes out looking. Clanahan has been sending a lot of our hitters back to the dugout muttering with 5 strikeouts and 3 1/3 innings. Luca Reyes up now. Hits it out to left field, but the play is made. 2 away. And that brings us to Tanner Shillette. The big blast in this game with the 2-run homer 2 innings ago, making his debut for the Wings. And he strikes out this time. So 3 up and 3 down for Buffalo. No runs, no hits, no errors. Ohtani, 34 pitches through 3 innings, but he has allowed 4 hits. Hasn't walked a batter. Faced the cleanup hitter Elijah Green. And he finally walked him. I guess I jinxed myself talking about those no walks. We will throw over to first, try to keep Green close. And now we're going to go for double play depth here and go ahead and pitch to Josh Lowe. And single to center field. So runners on first and second with no outs. And the Expos have got something going here. We're going to still go at double play depth and hopefully go after Junior Severino. Struck him out. 4th strikeout for Ohtani, and now a double play ball will get him out of the inning. Let's see if he can get William Bergolia. Hits it out to left field. makes the play, so 2 away, and chance that Ohtani gets out of this jam. Carson Williams up now. Grounds it right to short. Easy play at first, and the inning is over. So after allowing the first 2 runners on board, Ohtani works his way out of it. Second inning in a row, he got out of a 2 base runners on jam. Inning before, at least, it was with 2 outs. This past inning, it was to start off the inning, and he still got out of both of them. Samuel Basallo up for the Wings here in the top of the 5th. And he lines a single past the first baseman. So a leadoff single for the designated hitter. 2-time Silver Slugger winner at DH, as we mentioned. And now Toshimitsu Kato up. Kato, as you can see, not a big-time hitter. We're going to just let him swing away, but don't have high expectations. But he knocks a opposite field home run. So Kato, a shocking development for us. A 2-run homer to right field. We've had a couple of 2-run opposite field home runs from right-handed hitters in these first 5 innings of the game. 5-0 lead for the Wings now, so things going well. Leadoff hitter Seifu back to the plate for the 3rd time. He has not gotten on base yet, but reliever on the mound in Teodoro Ortega. So a new guy for us to go after, and maybe we'll do some pinch hitting in the coming innings with a right-hander now on the mound. Seifu laces one to the gap. With his speed, that looks like an easy double, and it certainly is. So the Wings are starting to tee off here a bit. Marcelo Meyer up, runner on second, still nobody out. Drills it down to third base, but nice play by the third baseman there. Vance Honeycutt up now. And Honeycutt singles to left. Seifu goes to third. So runners on the corners now with 1 away, and Adley Rutschman at the plate. And Rutschman pops it up to, it looks like the shortstop handled it there. So 2 away now. Not a clutch at bat from Rutschman. Runners on the corners with 2 outs now. We need a big hit from Nick York here, or would this be time to potentially go to a pinch hitter now that the right-handed hitter, the right-handed pitcher is on the mound? York's been pretty effective over the course of his career against both right-handed and left-handed pitchers, but we've got a big lead. York is not necessarily the most effective defensive player. So we are going to actually bring in Jace Barofin to pinch hit for him. Get a lefty here as we try to really break this game open, and we'll at least be tightening up our defense. Obviously, the 5th inning is a little early to be making a defensive move, but we've gotten the lefty out. So let's see if we can keep the pressure on Ortega. And it works out. Barofin, his first at-bat of the season, an RBI single. Honeycutt goes to third, so everything coming up Millhouse for the Buffalo Wings here in the 5th inning. Luca Reyes now on the mound, now at the plate, if I could speak properly. Runners still on the corners for Reyes, and he strikes out to end the inning. But 3 more runs from Buffalo, who take a 6-0 lead to the bottom of the 5th. And we are going to shift the lineup around a bit. Luca Reyes will shift to left, and Jace Barofin will take over in right field here. And Ohtani, 53 pitches through 4 innings. Probably not going to work them all that hard with the fact that we've now got a 6-0 lead, but certainly would love to at least set them up for the W by getting another inning out of them. In a perfect world, I think I'd still like to get 2 innings out of them. Don't want to tax the bullpen unnecessarily when Ohtani's been pitching pretty well. 1 away back to the top of the lineup in Wander Franco. Franco gives that one a ride, but flies out to right field. Barofin out there makes the play. So 2 away going after Curtis Mead. And a grounder to second. 3 up, 3 down in the 5th for the Montreal Expos. Top of the 6th, right-hander Teodoro Ortega still on the mound. We will let Tanner Shillette swing away rather than pinch hitting for him with Ota, because I think Shillette may be slightly better defensively, although neither of them is really all that good. Works out here with a leadoff walk for Shillette, and now the lefty Samuel Basallo, a chance to perhaps do some damage against Ortega. And instead it looks like a tailor-made double play ball, 2 away. And the right-handed hitting third baseman Toshimitsu Katu up. This would be an opportunity for us to potentially pinch hit. It would weaken our defense, though, to bring in the guy who is going to be our normal third baseman in Jace Young. Brought him on board this year, but we're tightening up our defense against left-handed pitching, and at least for the time being, only plan on playing him in the 70, 75, 80% of the games that we'll be likely playing against right-handed pitching. So given that we've got a 6-0 lead, we're going to let Kato hit again. I mean, he did hit a 2-run home run the last time up, so keep getting him some experience at the major league level. Struck out here, so wasted the walk, but a 6-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Could be it for Ohtani. We'll try to get 1 more inning out of him, but the leash is probably not incredibly long. He has only thrown 58 pitches, so hopefully he can get through the 6th. Strikes out Eragui, his 5th strikeout of the day. Going after the right-hander cleanup hitter Elijah Green. Looks like he flies out to center for the 2nd out to Honeycutt. And now the left-handed pitcher Josh Lowe is up. And, looks like we might have an error there. Maybe we would have wanted Shillette to have been substituted for. And they're calling it a triple. Looked kind of ugly to me, but ugly play. So a 2-out triple to get a runner into scoring position. Ohtani going against the left-hander Junior Severino. I still think we give Ohtani this bad, or we've got a 6-0 lead. And he flies out to center to end the inning. So we head to the 7th. Seifu, one of the top players in the league last year, had a double his last time up. We'll see what he can do against the right-handed pitcher Hidalgo, the reliever, another reliever on. And Seifu flies out to center field. Marcelo Meyer, left-handed batter, a little dribbler to the mound, 2 away. And now center fielder Vance Honeycutt up with 2 outs here in the 7th. And he goes down looking. So we head to the 7th inning stretch, a 6-0 lead for the Buffalo Wings. And with the lefty up, we are going to pull Ohtani. Only 70 pitches. We'll give him Bergolia and then see if he can take care of the 8th and the 9th guys. He just hasn't thrown that many pitches. Maybe we should have went to the lefty. A leadoff single for Bergolia. We do have a couple of guys who haven't done much in the shortstop and the catcher here, so hopefully we can get it double play depth. We're not even going to hold Bergolia at first base. Go ahead and pitch to Carson Williams. And it looks like a pop-up there. Infield fly rule likely called. Seifu makes the play. 2 outs. We're going to still be at, or 1 out will be at double play depth for Banfield. He flies out to center field for the 2nd out of the inning. And now Wander Franco up. Tough batter for Ohtani to potentially finish his night with. But he's our ace. We're going to let him go right after Wander Franco. And Franco delivers a single. 2-out hit. Runners on first and second. And the right-hander Curtis Mead. This will likely be the last batter for Ohtani one way or another. Either he's going to get out with 7 innings complete, or we will bring on a left-handed reliever to go after Eragui if he allows Mead to reach base. And looks like we've got a wild pitch there. So runners on 2nd and 3rd now. Do have a 2-2 count. And Ohtani finishes his day with a strikeout. So 7 innings pitched. Did scatter 8 hits among those 7 innings, but no score allowed by Mr. Ohtani. Adley Rutschman going against Alejandro Hidalgo here in the top of the 8th. Rutschman strikes out. Jace Barofin, his 2nd at-bat of the day. He also strikes out. And Luca Reyes up with 2 outs. At least he made some contact, but grounded out to second base. So 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 8th for Buffalo. And we've got a lefty, a righty, and a lefty up this inning. So we are going to make the call to the bullpen. And we will bring on Kyle Backus. Very good against left-handed pitchers, or left-handed hitters. We talked about that actually at the top of the episode, how good Backus is against left-handers. His stuff and his movement against them are both excellent. So hopefully he will help us get these 2 left-handers out going up against Eragui here to start off the bottom of the 8th. And that did not work out the way we wrote it up. A single to start things off for Eragui. Cleanup hitter Elijah Green on now. We are going to go to double play depth. We are not going to hold on Eragui. Not worried about him. Strikes out the right-hander Elijah Green. Now going after the... Oh, they're pinch hitting now with Miles Gossain. So we will still set up at double play depth and go ahead and pitch to Gossain. Strikes him out as well. 2 outs and going against the switch hitter Junior Severino. So diving play at shortstop by Cato. Infield hit is what they call it. So runners on first and second now. 2 outs. And going up against the left-handed pitcher Bergolia. Hopefully the lefty-to-lefty matchup works out for us here. Grounder down to second. And a horrible throw. Wow. That one does look like an error. Not sure whether they called the error on Seifu or the shortstop, but bases are loaded now for Carson Williams, the shortstop, and I don't think that Backus has been a huge problem. He did strike out 2 batters, and he hasn't gotten great defense behind him. But we are still going to go to a right-hander, bring in Emerson Talavera here to hopefully get the last out for us here in the 8th inning with bases loaded. They switch to the pinch hitter, lefty Xavier Isaac. Talavera has had some good years for us in the past. And he walks in the first run of the day for the Expos. So we will not get a combined shutout here. Getting a little ugly here as we've gone into the bullpen. Bases are still loaded, going against the number 9 hitter Will Banfield, and struck him out to end the inning. So our 2 pitchers combined to strike out the side, but also dealt with a bases-loaded jam on 2 occasions. One of them walked in a run, second bases-loaded jam after that walk, got out of with the strikeout. So we head to the 9th with a 6-1 lead for our Buffalo Wings. And I think I will pinch hit for Tanner Shillette now, try to get as many guys action this first game as we can. So Takao Ota will get his first at-bat of the season against the right-handed hitter Hidalgo. And Ota goes the opposite way for a single. So maybe we can get something started here in the 9th, get a few runs perhaps, some insurance runs, or at least get the run back that we gave up in the bottom of the 8th. Samuel Basallo now up, and Basallo gives it a ride to right field, but the play is made near the fence. 1 away. And even though Kato is a better defensive player, we want to see our new third baseman, Jace Young. So we are going to let Jace Young pinch hit for Kato, see what he can do in his first at-bat with the Buffalo Wings. And Jace Young flies out deep to right, second straight guy, flies out to the warning track with the runner on first. And now Seifu is up. Still have Ota on first. And Deshaun Seifu singles to keep the inning going. Unfortunately, he's got one of the slowest guys on the team in front of him. So Seifu not going to be able to do much here on the base paths. Marcelo Meyer, can he come up with a clutch 2-out hit for us? He singles up the middle. And it looks like Ota will score. So Meyer with a 2-out single to extend the lead to 7-1. Got 2 fast runners on base now, or 2 proficient stealers. Meyer, I should not say, is fast. Let Vance Honeycutt swing away here with 2 outs. Honeycutt flies out to center field to end the inning, but another run scored by Buffalo in the top of the 9th. And now it's just a matter of getting through this final inning. We do have Easton Swafford on the bench. But I don't think we're going to rethink this too much. We'll play Ota at first, Jace Young at third, Swafford, the only position player who seems unlikely to get action today. Oh, sorry, I need to pivot Marcelo Meyer to short. That would help. I forgot that Marcelo Meyer was actually playing third base for us, and we pinch hit for our shortstop there. So Meyer switches over to his natural position at short, where he'll be playing against right-handed pitching, and we'll get to see Jace Young in the field for the first time here. We've got the switch hitter Franco, the right-handed hitter Meade, and then the left-handed batter Eric. We expected this inning. Let's see if Talavera can get us out of the game. Wander Franco lines out to first in Ota. Emerson Talavera going up against Curtis Mead now with one out in the bottom of the ninth. And he struck him out. So 2 away here. And can Talavera close things out against Jorge Eragui? It looks like he cannot. A bloop single for Eragui. Elijah Green, the cleanup hitter here now. Talavera has thrown 28 pitches. One strike away at this point. And Talavera strikes him out to finish it. So a 7-1 victory for the Buffalo Wings on opening day. Good performance from Buffalo, and we are off to a 1-0 start. We talked a lot about Shillette and Cato, with both of those guys having 2-run homers towards the bottom of our order. 2 hits each by Seifu, Meyer, and Honeycutt. So that's kind of the way we draw things up with our first, second, and third hitters in the lineup. Ohtani, quality start, 8 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts over 7 innings. Backus did allow that unearned run to score. The error was on Cato, so the throw from Seifu was actually okay. Cato at short was expected to make the play and didn't. Talavera, 33 pitches, so a long outing, 52 combined pitches for our relievers over those final 2 innings. They were not incredibly proficient, although they did have 5 of the 6 outs that they recorded by strikeout, but wasn't the prettiest performance by our relievers. A 3.5-hour game, which in this day and age is getting a bit long. But the Buffalo Wings are off to a 1-0 start here in the 2030 season. So all in all, I'd say it was a productive day for Buffalo. We got the win, got some hits from some big-time players, got a surprising home run from Cato, a somewhat less surprising home run from Tanner Shillette, but still nice to see him go yard in his first game in a Buffalo uniform. And we've started off the season at 1-0, and we'll find out how the first couple months of the season go for the Wings in our next episode. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and hope you have a great day.